Welcome back to the Sports Cage on this Monday. Coach Kent Maugeri.
Sorry about that, guys.
Hey, it's all right. Colson's over there grinding. He's making it happen. Thanks for taking some time on this week.
Oh, that burger talk got me hungry.
Hey,
I know.
Pay $15, a little steep for a burger, Kent? Come on.
Man, I was at Vegas at Guy Fieri's, too. It was more than $15. It was good.
Okay, Kent, since you're the most popular coach in Rider football this weekend, I don't think you'll be buying a burger anytime soon after the way that the game ended on Friday night. So kudos to you. First question, is it exactly like you drew it up before Mario trotted on the field to return that kick?
Oh, man. So before the guys went out there, like, all right, well, expect them to kick it across the field, and we'll have an answer for that. But if they do kick it, this is the return. And we got to play clean. Last year, it was similar. We had a chance late in the game, and we had a holding penalty that backed us up, and that killed us. So, it was a safe return for the most part that we do. It was something that we hadn't done all game and thought it could be there if they did kick it to them. And the guys, they did what they do. So it was great.
What odds or what percentage were you maybe thinking they might squib it? Was that a thought process?
I didn't think they'd squib it. Squibbing's a lot harder than you think, because if it takes there's a hot squib and our fullback catches it and gets down, we could get the ball at the 40 and not much clock runs. So, there's things that we work on, sky kicks across the field, and squibs as well, that people can do to try to keep the ball out of his hands. But it's a tough kick.
How beneficial is it them only having 11 guys on the field?
It was the guy they were missing somebody to the field, so thank you. We didn't run a field return, but I don't know. It's tough. I've been in that scenario before where they're blowing it in quick, and you don't ever know. I don't know if they got somebody injured or what, but hell, I was glad. I wish they went out there with 8. We'll take it.
So as a coach, because as a fan, you're watching, because TSN did the counter and they're like, they only had 11. So as a coach, when it comes to, do you try and huddle before a kickoff? And I know it's hard because there's players come on and off. Do you try and get all of your 12 kind of front and center before they go out? Like, is anybody doing a head count, or you just relying on everybody knows what their job is? How does that work? No,
so me and my assistant, we count, and then we'll huddle on the sideline and break out. Obviously on a kickoff return, it's different for punt return. And then we have a guy who also counts on the field, and then we have somebody upstairs who counts to confirm that we have 12. So we as many as you can, but you just never know.
Can you share when's the last time that you had an absolute dumpster fire that you didn't have enough guys? Someone was maybe injured, and you're screaming at somebody. When was the last time that happened for you?
It's the worst day of the year for a special teams coach is the preseason game 2. You know what I mean? So starters aren't playing, but they've played maybe a quarter, and then you try to go by half, and then somebody gets hurt or whatever, and then you're shuffling the pieces. You're like, oh, so that to me is like, that's the problem where you put, you'll have 11 guys out there or something like that, but you try to do your best and you have answers for it. You have protocols in place, but it happens.
So Mario Alford is reaching rarefied air when in his stats, punt return, kickoff return, the yardage, and all of that. How excited are you when you have a weapon like that as part of the arsenal that you get to coach every day?
Oh, it's fun. And it's not just me. Like, the players see it and they want to protect for him, because they know anytime he touches it, we could go the distance. So our guys, they work really hard in film preparation, on the field drill work. And knowing that you have a weapon like that can change the game, it gets everybody excited to do their best.
One question that I've had, and I've always just, thinking back to high school and you had to play like kick coverage or something like that. It seemed like it was basic. It was like, just do this. In the CFL, from week to week, is there a lot of differences from teams and what you have to prepare for when it comes to special teams? And are there some weeks that you got to be really, dialed in, or are they all pretty much the same?
Oh, no, it's just like offense or defense. It really is. So it depends on the scheme you're seeing, whether it's you're going to face a team that does a bunch of double teams and traps, or if it's a man scheme, or if it's middle or field, schemes. And then you always look up matchups and, all right, who are they trying to the double team, or what's the matchup where I can get an advantage, whether it's through movement or just crossing downfield. So it's different.
What makes a good special teams player?
I would say their relentless effort, and we have a saying like junkyard dog mentality. We want guys that are going to run and go hit.
A lot of guys coming into camp, especially if they're rookies, may not crack a roster, a veteran one like the Riders. So they're going to have to come through teams. So do you and Corey have a deal to be like, listen, no, don't give him that iPad. I don't care how many offensive plays or defensive plays. He needs to know these special teams. I get him first, and then you can have him in 3 to 6 games, because that's how the pipeline kind of works. And you don't have a lot of time when you get guys showing up never in the CFL. All of a sudden, within 2 weeks, you got to have them game ready. Probably a bit of a challenge at times, right?
It's one of my favorite things, though, because during practice, he gives us plenty of time, especially in training camp. So we're doing drill work that's specific for special teams. And then once we do our drill work, we'll do some team stuff. And then I'm watching for specific skill set. You know what I mean? What type of skill set does in their position specific drill work that can carry over to mine? So, and then once the lights come on, that's when they really separate themselves. And it's my job to make sure if there's a battle, say at running back, I want to make sure I have equal reps on special teams for those two guys that are competing at running back, because typically it'll be, the best teamer will survive.
Who's a player, maybe in the last couple of years, let's go a couple of years, that started on special teams that you knew, you were like, this guy, work ethic, IQ, he's going to be moving up quick?
Man, I would say Milligan for sure. Like, he got here late in the year, was expanded PR, and I'm like, holy cow, this is one of the best teamers, if not players on the field. And we put him out there. It was like, there's only a matter of time before he's pretty special, and it happened quick.
That's what Charleston Hughes said. He saw almost instantly when he showed up just how good Mulligan, as he calls him, would be, because it was a call in a game that he said in the huddle that Milligan called out what the play was going to be because he'd already watched enough film. And we talked about him. I said, well, since he's so good and such a big part of what the Riders do, would you take him off special teams? And Charleston said, no, when you have that dog in you, you never let that dog go away. You let him play as much as you want, because when a guy's in the game, he's better for the team than a guy that has to try and go out there and manufacture it just a few plays at a time.
Oh yeah. And I got to protect him. Like, he's like, coach, put me out there. I want to be, slot or gunner on punt and make every play. Like, I have to say, all right, no, get over the sideline. You're good. We got somebody else that can do it. And when your best players are doing that, that means you got the right culture and you got the right guy. Because, and you look right now, like Therm, he plays a bunch of special teams for us and he doesn't want to come off the field ever. And when your best players, your leaders are those type of guys, then you're doing something right.
What's something that the casual fan doesn't know about place kicking?
It's not just the kicker. There's a lot of different factors. The snap, the hold, the hash, the wind, the weather. His steps, you know what I mean? So people don't realize that. Are you on the right hash? Well, then your step back is going to be a little bit different.
Trickiest facility, stadium in the CFL from your perspective to kick in?
I think it's hard kicking towards Pill Country, but I also think that Toronto is tough going towards the lake because you're on grass. O-linemen have been beating that thing up all game, so your plant foot feels like it's slipping a little bit, and the wind is tricky.
So when it comes to kickers, and I don't know if you've always been this way or if you've sort of amended what you do. When a kicker's going through ups and downs, and everybody does throughout a football season, do we talk about it? Do we let it go? Do we let a person work it out? What's your role when, hey, it's great. If somebody goes 5 for 5, there's nothing to say. It's high fives. 2 for 5, different story. What happens?
Yeah. To me, it's all the same. Like, we're going to watch every kick, whether he makes them all or misses them all. You know what I mean? And then we're going to evaluate, all right, what was good, what was bad. Because even some of the makes, if it's a miss hit, you got to talk about it. So, and to me, it's just like a hitter. If you're at a hitting slump, you don't just stop hitting. You hit and you hit and you hit, and you got to get out of it. And a lot of it's mental, but some of it we just tweak a couple things. And look at him last week. I know he wasn't thrilled about the results but even pregame, his kicks were great, and the other ones were really, really good. He struck it well, except for the last one. And he's going to continue to work just like we've been doing. So
you mentioned, the guys that are going to run down and have the dog in them and all that. I mentioned this last week. I had a chance to skate with Brett in the winter. He's a gamer. Like he might not look it on the field, right? But man, that guy's competitive, coach.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's awesome. And he wants to be out there all the time. Like, hey man, it's 60 yards, back up. Like, coach, put me in. All right. That's what you want as a kicker. You really do. And he owns it. Like, he had a rough go and he owns it. And that's what you want too. You don't make excuses. You just go out there. I have to be better for the team, and he's going to be fine.
Speaking of 60s, there's some talent across the league right now. And Sergio Castillo, what do you think his range could be? Could he possibly potentially kick a 70? Like, I mean, he's no in the 60s. To me, he is one of the best right now in the CFL, and he's consistent. This is your specialty. So what makes him so good?
Oh, he's a machine. He really is. If he's got wind at his back, you just never know, what the distance could be. But man, he just strikes such a good ball. He's got great lift, great rotation, and he's nothing, he's got ice in his veins, it seems. So, but there's a lot, like the punters and the kickers up here this year. I just think it's outstanding. They took us away. Ottawa's punter, Hamilton's punter, and he's hanging 4.7, 4.8 hang time outside the numbers. I don't care who you got back there at returner, like that took you away for a couple of them. So these guys are pretty special. It's fun to be a special teams coach right now and up here.
Special teams coach Kent Maugeri joining us on the Coaches Show. We got a couple minutes left here. I want to ask you, you played QB as a kid. You played a little bit DB in college, and then coaching. Longest tenured coach, I think, with the Riders, from what I gather. Maybe I could be off a bit. But did you always have that coaching brain? Like, when you look back at yourself in the younger days, was that always you? Were you really good at Tecmo Bowl and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah. I could beat anybody in 1992, John Madden. So if you guys want, I'm in. Tecmo Bowl. Now, I was so my dad worked in construction, but he coached Pop Warner football, which is like youth football down south. And I just remember being a little kid, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. I'm drawing football plays instead of doing math, you know what I mean, at school. And I just always loved the X's and O's part of it. I always loved the team aspect of it. So I always knew that I wanted to be in football. So
who's a player on the Riders right now that you can see somewhere down the line is going to be a coach, has that coaching brain?
Oh man, there's a couple of good ones. I would say special teams wise, Dalkey's as smart as anybody I've worked with. But we've got a couple others. Some of them are too smart. They go make money instead of coach. And I'd say Dalton. He's like a coach on the field for us.
We got Maz. Go ahead, one more, if you want.
BC coming up this week, and they're not off to the start that they want, but there's some weapons there, some guys you probably want to keep the ball away from. How much prep time goes into each team each week to get ready for the next opponent?
I mean, it takes what it takes. It takes a long time. It really does. And we watch every clip of their season, and then I go back to the special teams coordinator, what he's done in the past, some success that he's had, and then what's hurt him. So it's deep dives, and then it's matchups. I'm looking at personnel and, all right, what say their left guard on punt? What is he? Is he a striker? Is he a catcher? What's his footwork like? And then who are we going to match up on him just to give ourselves the best chance of winning? So it takes a lot of time. That's why I got all this gray. I look tired because I am. But I'll take 3-0 tired.
Yeah, okay, so now I got a few months here to figure this out. Western Pizza makes a really good burger, so we gotta call Spiro from Western Pizza. I'm gonna bring the Genesis back from the cabin. We'll get Madden 92. We'll set up. We'll have a burger and we'll play some Madden at Western Pizza.
I am in. You let me know.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Best of luck this week.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me.
Right on. Special teams coach with our Riders, Kent Maugeri.